damn it, Bobby. Ran to a kitchen to get a drink. And it flipped over from 10 to 10:01. Damn. We were a couple... we were like 10 seconds late. Shoot. Yeah, good morning, everyone. You guys having a fantastic evening, or a fantastic day, I should say, and had a fantastic evening and a fantastic night's rest. I was pretty alright. I got interrupted a little bit there in the middle. But other than that, got some decent sleep. I slept till about 4. Got woken up a little bit. And was kind of up for a little bit. Went back to sleep at 5. So, not bad. Hated the interruption, but it is what it is. Also, hey Daniel, good to see you. Also, I meant to tell Rapar, his house is right next to, his house is actually right beside the event in Once Human. So they have a brand new, new deviation that is now attacking in Once Human. And his house is right beside it. I don't know. Threadnut. I guess I just feel like they gotta advertise themselves. But yeah, the new Snap to Grid feature is really, really nice. Like, holy shit, it's super fucking nice. You can't get as close, unfortunately, but that's okay. Yeah, they have a new, the new deviation is basically like a airplane that's been turned into kind of like a flying whale thing. It is horrific. Pretty fucking cool, though. I don't know who you're talking to, Abysmal. There ain't no kobolds in here. I'm looking around, I don't see any. Oh, I don't know. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I didn't really have a plan for today. We'll probably just do, we'll do Once Human for just a little bit. I'll put my headphones on, and we'll go back to just chilling. I just want to see the event, and I need to figure out how to get up to the event, because it's up on top of a mountain. Oh, no! As I looked away. Bam. Bam? Okay. Ben? Alright. So, again, we're just going to do Once Human for a little bit, just because of the new update. I didn't read that it was 12 a.m. Oh, also. Yeah. Yeah. I really do like the watermelon salt. Okay. Again, we're not actually going to be doing Once Human full stream. I just want to figure out how to get it to the event. Rapar's house is right beside it. We've got to find some way up the mountain to go do it. It's a big spaceship in Empyrean? Yep. Yeah, so the event's up there. Rapar's house is right here. Home sweet home. So it looks like I can go up there. Yeah. Mountain boys rise up. Yep. Then I can show you guys my house as well, because I I redesigned the hoose. Eat a gummy. Let's put you here. No. Well, it all depends. All depends on who we're working for. Yeah! Double jump, baby. So you can go around the long way there, but when you've got double jump, you might as well use double jump. Oh, you can actually see them already. Nice. Yeah, this plane up here, apparently the whole thing's a deviant. I finally got a mutated crop, by the way, as you can see, but it only gave me 2 harvests of it, and it's like... You son of a bitch. Normally it's 4. But not this time. Wow, you lucky bastard. Whoever that is, whoever has their house right beside it. Granted, my house is in a really good location. Even though it hurts me, I have so much power generation. It's crazy. Ooh. Ooh. Ancient one will take off after the countdown. Oh god. Oh. Let me up! You basted. What? It didn't work! My leg! Right here, it's gonna... Oh, it's not working. I can't get the jet to actually fire me up. There we go. But he's about to take off though, but still. Please get ready. Oh boy. Yes, it is. It is a good thing, like I said. But that guy's got his house literally right next to the... goofy. Woo! Goes 515. Because we're moving. We're moving at rapid speed. I'm glad I've got the machine gun so I can kind of walk it in. In real life, being a gunner on a ship or a plane or a helicopter is the biggest pain in the ass there is. Oh no! Do not, okay. Oh! You gotta remember, when you're a gunner like this, you're also working against the physics. You're also working against the physics of the thing you're on. Journey's about to end. Okay. Yeah. 2. Sweet. See the front of the plane. Oh. Yeah, just a fun little shooting gallery. What all did we get out of it? We got 2 loot boxes! Oh my god! You bastard! Oh my god! What a dick! What a dick! Oh. Alright, we'll go get my stuff back. You bastard. What an asshole. Alright. Okay, when it says journey end, make sure you jump off of him and immediately activate the glider. Oh. Hi, Pyro Dino. How you doing? I didn't mean to activate him. Okay. Oh, Dig to Hell is activated. But I'm gonna go get my stuff back. Well, it got us a bunch of fuel as well. I think this is what I saw. Yeah, we're up to 60 fuel now. That's pretty nice. Well, we should transfer it to the space-time backpack. And for a new season. The number of items to the new season backpack. Items from Eternal Land cannot be transferred to the new season. Okay. Fair enough. No. No, I'm trying to... Oh, they changed it. Alright, it's R to organize now. R is organize. Right. Try to change up on me, you son of a bitch. Alright, use that. For some marks. Ooh. I already have the formula. Nice, I can actually break that down. So where are the containers? I don't know where the containers are. They've also buffed quite a few things. They've nerfed some stuff as well, because there's some stuff that was like way overperforming, and they're like, yeah, that needs to be changed. It's like, oh, but I likes it. But they're also they made more with more clarity, like how each of the new seasons is gonna work. So I'm looking forward to that. Absolute bastard bitch, though, dropping me to the ground. Whoa! Bastard bitch. There we go. Got my stuff back. Nice! Alright. Yeah, see, you can also see they redid the icons and everything. They've made more clear what everything's going to give you. So, like, they've just done a bunch of quality of life stuff for it. So I very much appreciate it. Yeah, our house is done now, by the way. So I'll go back there. And that'll be it, basically, for Once Human. We'll go back to just chilling. See, house is done. It's all been set and written. Fucking burp! Oh, it just gives you generic raw meat. Okay. I don't even get poultry out of it. We've already moved some stuff around. Okay, H is still merge items. Got it. I didn't mean to do that! No! God damn it. I hate that I accidentally did that. I hate that I did that. Ah, alright, you there. You there. Okay. Right. Dork me. Yeah, here, I'll show you guys what the grid thing looks like. So you can see we have a grid now per level. And when we take stuff, Taps a grid. Fucking fantastic. Not going to any gay sex orgies, are you, Setch? The WHO are warning about monkeypox pandemic and wanting global lockdowns. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't have to worry about any of that, thank God. You know how? Remember how they tried to when people started realizing COVID was nothing, and they were like trying to keep people scared and afraid, and the World Health Organization started talking about monkeypox a while ago, and then it turns out the monkeypox was only a sexually transmitted disease, and it turns out that only gay people were getting it, and then suddenly a lot of dogs and children around these gay people were getting it, and then suddenly it went away out of the news cycle, real fucking fast. Now they're trying to bring it back again. Wonder how long this time it'll stay in the news cycle. Yeah. That's our house. That's a house. Or hoose. Alright. Again, like I said, we weren't going to do Once Human for much. We were just going to do it to do the new event. I wanted to see what it was like and to show the house. That was it. Tasty. Alright, chat. What are we going to do? Because remember, all the media stories kept talking about the monkey, the ones with monkeypox, and the truck crash and everything like that. Oh no, be afraid! And nobody bought it. And then everybody started pointing out the obvious things. And then they hushed up those stories real fucking fast. Oh, so I started watching Blue Dragon, the anime Blue Dragon, because I remember it being a video game, and yeah, they actually have in the credits it's an Xbox 360 game. Weird show, weird show. Not the weirdest one I watched. I also watched another one which was called The Dragon's Dentist. That one was strange. It was a 2-episode like original concept. Well, let's talk about Dragon's Dentist first, because it's only 2 episodes. They're 50 minutes each, give or take, and it's 2 episodes, and it's about this like there are dragons that exist in the world. And when you die, you go through the dragon's teeth, like literally through the dragon's teeth, and you can choose to accept your second death or resist fate. If you choose to accept your second death, you get pulled out of the teeth, and you become a dentist to fight back against the cavities and things like that try to attack the dragon's teeth. Again, very strange thing, very philosophical based. Interesting for sure, though. Really interesting visuals. But it's a lot of like goofy weirdness. Like, to become a dragon's dentist, you have to see what your death will be in the future, and nobody tells anybody else about what kills them. So, very strange. Like I said, it's not like there isn't like some higher overarching plot or anything like that. It's just a 2-episode like original concept sort of thing. Anime writer sitting at his desk. I haven't written anything weird in like 10 minutes. Yeah, ain't that the fucking truth. But that's the same story here. It's just a weird original concept about there are multiple nations that are at war with each other, And so, like, fucking, yeah, it's just weird. It's hard to explain. But yeah, as for Blue Dragon, I'm still kind of confused on Blue Dragon. But the essential part is that there is a kingdom known as the Grand Kingdom that is evil, that's attacking all other kingdoms. All other kingdoms are finally uniting underneath a different kingdom that wants to stand against them. But in this world, you have what are known as shadows. Like, obviously, everybody has a shadow. Like, but there are creatures that are known as shadows. And if you can use the shadows, you, like, are directly linked to the creature in the shadow, and you gain buffs and benefits, and they gain buffs and benefits from you if you're strong enough. And the main character we follow, he gets the titular Blue Dragon. And the Blue Dragon is an asshole. It is absolute fucking asshole. And like when he awakens, he gets pissed that this kid is a fucking dick. This kid is weak and pathetic, and he's just like bleh. No, not grand, no D. But yes, Nene. Like that's the ruler of it. It's strangely like adult for a cartoon, if that makes sense, right? Like, it's one of those ones. Given the way it looks, and the way it looks, and the way it's based off of a JRPG for Xbox. It's Xbox exclusive. It's strange to have like all of the stuff going on, like all the death and murder and assassination plots, and very, very strange. It doesn't feel like it connects properly, right? Yeah, no, the show literally says it's for Xbox 360, like in association with Xbox 360, Namco. I think it was Namco. I think. Yeah, no, they actually straight up say that's what it is, and that was why it was commissioned. It was specifically for the Xbox game. It actually got 2 seasons, so that's interesting. Evil nations and races are so unrealistic. Meanwhile, in reality, yeah, exactly. Did you see that a bunch of stores are now blaring classical music outside to keep people, they say in air quotes, away? We know what people are talking about. It keeps looters away from the store, blasting classical music. It's fucking... It's very funny that we've gotten to the point of this is like one step removed from the if you have a book on you, you can keep them at bay sort of thing. It just apparently does. Apparently the looters don't like classical music, so they stay away from the store. It's very strange. It's just really, really weird. It's literally like the kryptonite to these people, and they started doing it because of those hood takeovers of gas stations and things like that. You know, the fucking hood rats, the pathetic pieces of shit. People that don't belong in a high trust society. It's just really fucking funny. Arch had a pretty good tweet on it. Let me get his tweet for it. So Archcast says a bit of Wagner apparently keeps looters away. This is level 2 of the books are kryptonite meme. And no, it literally, this is why they did it. It's fucking funny. Oh, God. This is funny to me. What else we got today? Oh, yeah, let's see, I watched a really awful, really awful show as well. That, I don't even want to mention what the show is. It was just bad. It was just bad. It sucked too, because the initial promise of the show was interesting. I didn't know anything about the show going in, because the descriptors, they need to update those descriptors, by the way. Fucking hell. The descriptors were very basic. Actually, what was the show even called? It was something like the Dragovar Academy or something. It's very not safe for work. It's because it's an ecchi or an ichi, however you want to say it, right? Very not safe for work. I didn't realize it was going to be an ichi because the tags were not updated properly. It's one of those ones where it's like, God, it has such an interesting concept, and then it's titties everywhere. Titties and ass everywhere. Everywhere. But the most distressing part is that only the lolly character is completely uncensored, and it's like, why? Why? What's wrong with you? No. Not just shots of panties. No. It's way worse. Way worse. And it's just funny. That entire show is literally coasting off of the initial interesting concept, and it does nothing with it. All throughout. Nothing. It is so bad. Oh my God. Oh. Oh my God. For anyone that doesn't know what an ichi is, or an ecchi, however you say it, I don't know the actual proper pronunciation. It is supposed to be comedy through overt sexuality, right? Like, the comedy comes from somebody being uncomfortable. That's what it's supposed to be. Again, had no idea that's what this show was going to be. Alright? And then it hits you pretty quick. It's like, oh. It is wild. Yeah, but Hayao Miyazaki's also a miserable fuck, honestly. Like, I love his work, but he's kind of a miserable fuck. I guess the same people the demon crap party claim aren't intelligent enough to get a card to vote because they can't find the nearest SOS location. Took me a minute to reword it to get around the YouTube filter. Yeah. Yeah, but thank you. So you ready to go? Dude, remember when Kathy Hochul said that black people were too stupid to know what a computer was and it scares them? This was actually said by the Democrat Party, and yet it's the Republicans that are supposed to be racist. It's like, are you serious? I am familiar with Azure Lane, and the reason I'm familiar with it is because I played a lot of World of Warships, and World of Warships like to do crossover events with Azure Lane. I remember the response. The response was great. There was one guy, he knocked his laptop to the ground and started like literally dancing around on his knuckles like a monkey, going whoo 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 whoo, slapping the laptop around on the ground. It's like, oh my god. It's like, stop, please, please. Oh god, it was genuinely funny. Oh, it was pretty fucking funny, that's for sure. You know who else knows about Azure Lane though, Buttons? Pippa Pipkin. That's why Pippa has a ship OC named Shipkin Ship. I kid you not. It's a real thing. And it is fucking funny. I can't remember what ship she's based off of, though. Oh my goodness sakes. Yep, Shipkin Shippa. Oh my god. It's just, oh. It actually has been featured in a couple of Pippa's, like, montages and things like that. Especially one that was, like, all of her unhinged moments. And Pippa actually reacted to the, what was it, like, the Pippening 3 or whatever. I think that's what it was. And at the end of it, she's like, why'd you use only the bad clips? Why'd you use only the unhinged clips? Oh my god. That just gets into funny stuff about how Face Connect actually works. Where the models, the VTubers, actually bully the CEO so much. And I remember there was a thing. Hang on a second. Hang on. You know what? I just want to watch that video. Hold on. We should just watch that video real quick.
What?
I spelled his name wrong. Whoops. There we go.
What?
Alright. What? Okay. This is the CEO of Face Connect, okay? the CEO of Sad Girls Incorporated. Prepare yourself.
Exactly made you want to start an idol company, and where do you plan to take Face Connect in the future if it's not too much to ask?
Dude, this is so much to ask. What do you mean? This is like the biggest question.
Why did you make Face Connect?
Why? So, keep in mind how this is going to start innocuously, right? And then he's going to say some things that are going to get the attention of some of his VTubers.
I think I've told people before, like I tried to like invest in another VTuber company and they just never got back to me. And I'm like, okay, I'll just do my own. And then that's basically what happened.
Yeah, so he literally got the Bender treatment, where this other VTuber company just gave him the cold shoulder and was like, nah, whatever. And like, blow away, loser. And he's like, fine, I'll make my own with blackjack and hookers. Only in his case, he decided, fine, I'll make my own with mahjong and sad girls. He decided that he was going to start recruiting talent hardcore, so he went to the local mental asylums. Oh my god.
Then, okay, what kind of direction do you want to take Face Connect in then?
Dude, we're gonna become idols, man.
You're gonna become idols? Are you sure?
Yeah.
I feel
We're
like
gonna
you're...
fix everybody up and then turn them into idols.
So, now he says he's gonna fix everybody. He can fix them, chat. He can fix all the crazy the crazy girls he got from the asylum. He's gonna fix them all up. And I love that. I love just immediately, you're gonna fix everybody? And then, who do you think the very first one they're gonna ask about is? You're gonna fix everybody in Face Connect? Everybody.
I'm gonna fix everybody, even Pippa!
I don't know, Fishman. I think that's an uphill struggle. I think fixing Pippa's gonna be one hell of an uphill battle.
Yeah.
Even, really?
Mega idol Pippa.
Vega, that's true. She's the Vega idol, of course you could fix. Of course you could fix Pippa.
Dude, if Tenma doesn't talk, she's like the perfect idol.
Oh my god. If Tenma doesn't talk, she's the perfect idol. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Fishman has now stepped directly on the landmine.
No?
What? I've never heard of this before. Please go into further details regarding this. What do you mean?
Yeah, she has like very good movement and the content she does, like everything's so good.
Until she opens her mouth.
Until she gets angry and then
Until she gets
Until she gets angry.
angry.
Is done.
And then everything is done. Okay, so he should have said until she gets angry. But he said no. Until she opens her mouth. If Tenma doesn't talk, she's like the perfect idol, Sakura.
If Tenma doesn't talk, she's the perfect... He said that now?
He said,
He said that now?
I think the person I've seen get scolded the most.
oh, so now now Tenma is aware that Sakana has triggered the trap card.
Most is you. From Tenma?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember there was...
What the
Oh
fuck?
no.
And I heard you talking shit! What the fuck? What is that supposed to mean? Oh, she's a perfect idol and she doesn't talk. The fuck? The fuck? Am I not idol enough, Sakura? Huh?
You are. You're
idol
the
enough?
perfect idol.
I'm a perfect idol! Sakana-san, I forgive but never forget. Remember these words.
Forgive... She left! She freaking left.
Oh my god. Oh, I think what makes that moment the best is just the fact that Tenma jumped in immediately into the call and was like, "Yo, what the fuck? I heard you talking shit." Oh my god. Oh my god. Mr. Fish should have doubled down? No. Oh no. When you get the fox angry, you need to back off. It's gonna go, things are gonna go downhill rapidly. Or escalate rapidly, one of the two. God, though, it is genuinely funny when, it's genuinely funny when, Tenma gets drunk and then forgets how to speak English. Gets drunk and then gets angry and then has that moment where they switch into Japanese and they can't remember how to go back to English. Like, and they're just sitting there like, fuck, how do I go back to English? I can't. Oh my god, hold on a second, let's see if I can find it. Should be pretty easy. Tenma forgets, there we go, it auto-filled in. Tenma forgets English. Where is it? Oh. Is it?
皆様。
No, this is where she... This is where she just fucks up. Damn it, I want to find it. No, because Tenma is actually from Japan. So Tenma is actually Japanese. The joke being that she's from Canada. But Tenma is actually Japanese, and that Japanese is her first language. And she'll forget English when she gets drunk enough, and it is genuinely fucking funny. Because then you see her struggling to get back to English again, and she just can't. She just can't, like, go back. Oh, there's her getting angry at Sakuna again. Oh, that's the same thing right there. I know there's another channel that said an introduction to Tenma, and it went in, and it went into to Tenma as like a what can you expect from the Rage Fox. And one of them is that when she gets drunk enough, she'll forget English entirely.
Bye.
I'm not gonna be able to find it. We'll look at it some other time. And I know there was another channel that did that did the introduction to it. Woofda. When I get drunk, I can't not speak English. Was that supposed to be a double negative? Or was you just saying that when you get drunk, you can't speak English either? What? No, I just lack the capability to switch over to Norwegian. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh my goodness sakes. I don't know. I don't know if I'd, is that what you're saying the video is?
Jump.
Oh no. Oh no. Alright, here we go.
Jump, mama. I'm not late. I'm not. It's a concept of I am drunk. But I'm not late. One moment, let me show you something. I'm ready. I was company working meeting. We meet at least 1 or 2 times a year, and we eat at the restaurant together. And oh, I drank so much. My boss is an asshole. I wanted to leave, and he was like, "Promotion, didn't ya? 1, 2, 3, 乾杯みっちゃん。あ、でも私はそろそろ時間で。いやー、そんなにないよ。いっぱい飲んでよ。なるほど、いっぱい飲んだ。英語忘れちゃった。どうする？そろそろ時間で。いやー、そんなにないよ。いっぱい飲んでよ。なるほど、いっぱい飲んだ。英語忘れちゃった。
I forgot how to speak English. What do I do?
あ、どうする？はい。I am Tenma. I am Tenma. I'm Tenma. まゆみ、よろしくお願いいたします。私はビーチは知ってる？ビーチも好き？ Did you know it took me 20 minutes to remember my password? But then I remember after 20 minutes? I remember 20 minutes? Password is on my phone application. It's almost lock my account. Why the... Do I hear puppy? What's that? I wonder. How do I get that? Oh, yeah. Ah!
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy shit, that was funny.
Oh, yeah. Ah! Naze!
I'm sorry. Watch your cards now. I have no memories of these. Oh, oh my god. Oh my god. Whew. Oh. Yeah, I see this one. So my first 3 ship girls, I went down the route of Misfits obsolete ships being put together in a fleet. Did USS Florida, USS Olympia, and U-505. Nice. Oh my god. Meanwhile, to get us back on track for the stream of what shenanigan we were up to. Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god. It's still that little waddle is still so fucking good. It's still so fucking good. That dude's expression. That dude's expression is fucking priceless. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why are what? Damn it. Why are small island nations so fucking bonkers? It's cabin fever on a national scale. That's clearly what it is. I played Battle Stations Midway a long time ago, but not much of it. God, the laughing is just rough. Oh. Whew. My belly just lit. To be fair, at least we're not surrounded by people who hate us and are constantly trying to undermine us despite being allies like the Continentals. Yeah, ain't that fucking true? Just got past the classical music awards off the looters part of the stream. Well, this is one step from the simpletons from A Canticle for Leibowitz, burning history and such. Yep. I mean, not really. Again, it's a continent, right? I mean, once we finish annexing Canada and remove their dictator, and yeah, I think we could probably then say it's more like an island nation, I guess. Just a really, really big fucking island. Oh my god. Whew. Time to annex Canada. Yeah. Alright. Let's see, what else do we have on the docket for today? Ooh. Oh, there's a shit take, yeah. Somebody talking about how, Helldivers 2, it's only one forum that's upset about it. The rest of the player base is fine. And then you look at the actual player numbers, it's like, oh yeah, it's, you know, a severe decline from just March. Uh-huh. Yeah, the rest of the player base is fine, though. You lost what? It looks like 100,000 players? It's pretty fucking severe. Woofda. Woofda. I say we take Mexico and drive all the shittiness there to south of the Panama. I mean, that would be a good thing, honestly. First thing I would do is I would have the National Guard actually enact a DMZ at our fucking southern border. When I played the start a bit yesterday, your server was sadly full. Couldn't have any more characters created on it. Yeah, that's what I've heard, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would help people actually get buffed along. But the server's apparently full, which is very frustrating. Do I have a favorite naval warship? I really like the Gneisenau. Ah, no. I know which one it would be. Easy peasy. I only had to think about it a little bit longer. The ORP of Błyskawica. Polish destroyer. Poland realized that it was going to be invaded by the Soviets and the Germans, and so quickly dispatched its navy to leave and take asylum in Great Britain, right? They start going, they start passing a bunch of German warships and everything, but there's been no declaration of fighting or anything like that yet. So they leave. 3 days into the journey, then Poland gets invaded by the Soviets first, and then the Germans coming right afterwards, because it was supposed to be a coordinated assault by both groups. But the ORP Błyskawica would then go on to actually fight in the Government in Exile's naval fleet and the foreign fleets there in Great Britain. And one of its most famous and shining examples, and again, the one thing that annoys me with the way World of Warships implemented the ship, was that, I want to say it was Lent? What was the... It was a docking shipyard for foreign vessels in Britain. It was a big dock, and the Germans were coming to bomb it during the Blitz. And the ORP Błyskawica opened up with its Orlikon anti-aircraft guns, and it actually chased the German bombers to go higher, so they dropped their bombs and missed their targets, thus saving the city. And they actually got a award. They got memorialized in in that town. That town actually has a monument to the ORP Bliskovica. And that's not the only thing it's done, but that's one of its most famous incidents of what it has done. Because once they started opening up, that woke up the Free French Army, who then quickly manned their own anti-aircraft equipment and emplacements. So if the Bliskovica hadn't been there, the city would have been bombed. Now, even more cool, well, what they could have done in World of Warships, and they should have done, was there was a buff known as defensive fire for your anti-aircraft guns. Now, this is back before they totally changed how AA and all the systems work and everything, right? You could trigger what was known as defensive fire, and basically it made all of your AA guns go into rapid fire mode. They would go absolutely fucking crazy, and everybody would start manning their battle stations, and they start just letting rip an entire torrent of hell into the sky. And this would cause aircraft carriers, their strike packages, their strike groups would get scattered, and they wouldn't be as effective, and they'd get shot down out of the air a lot easier, and so on and so forth, right? Again, the one thing the Bliskovica is most famous for, and they don't give it defensive AA fire, which is so fucking frustrating. I remember I put in for that during a community contributor event for World of Warships, and the devs that were there at the event were like, that's a really good idea, and that makes sense. But then they shut it down, and then they shot down the idea because they were going to rework the anti-aircraft systems anyways. And I was like, sad. And I hate the AA systems and stuff like that, the way they got them now. The Gneisenau used to be, this is what made me think of it, because the Gneisenau used to be one of the best anti-aircraft ships in the game, which was shocking, because it was a battleship. The Gneisenau is a battleship. But it is a battleship that was specifically designed to fight aircraft. It has so many long-range anti-aircraft guns. So many of them. So what would happen was when you would have aircraft, so aircraft carriers would come to try to bomb you, to deal with you as a threat, you would just, as the Gneisenau, pick them as a target and be like, I'm just going to say, fuck you. I actually had, like, my best anti-aircraft game was in the Gneisenau, and I shot down 81 aircraft, which is fucking ridiculous. That is a ridiculous number of aircraft. But the aircraft carriers just kept coming for me, and I just kept going, okay, I'm just going to keep highlighting your aircraft, and I'm just going to keep shooting them down. Because I've got, like, the floating city of anti-aircraft guns here. Alright. Button says their favorite was Enterprise. For a long time, my home state has really come around to me as a cool little piece of history. Number one, Florida was serving together with Texas and 3 other dreadnoughts in the Grand Fleet, and they were super close to leading the line against the High Seas Fleet. Nice. Nice. Something my state has is the USS Indianapolis, and that was a massive cover-up and clusterfuck of epic proportions, where the Navy didn't want to admit that it fucked up and had sent somebody to their death, and a lot of people to their deaths. And yeah, it's just fucking terrible. It took a little kid's book report to highlight just how fucked the entire situation was, and then the military finally had to come out and say, like, yeah, no, that situation was entirely fucked. They cleared the captain's name because he had dishonorable. He was treated with dishonor, and he he unalived himself. That whole situation's just completely fucked. Yeah, Indianapolis, Indiana. It's just awful. I had to get the USS Indianapolis though. The moment that came up on sale in World of Warships, I got it. Had to get it. There's no way I wasn't gonna show some pride. Ugh. And that situation's just completely fucked. Excuse me. Woofda. Oh, by the way, Eldritch Dragoon, one thing I will tell you, since you're starting Once Human now, you're going to get a lot of Starcrum. I highly recommend going to the Wish Machine, and don't like do the gamble stuff. Do the blueprint stuff. Figure out what kind of build you want to go for. Look up like do you want to go a shrapnel build? Do you want to go a fire build? Which is what I've got. I've got burn build. Don't go bounce until they refix it or something. I don't know what they're gonna do to try to make bounce work, but bounce is pretty useless, unfortunately. No, he's talking about the USS Enterprise. Yeah, but the one thing is, the most famous ship for Indiana is obviously the USS Indianapolis, for unfortunate reasons. Yeah, anyways, the reason why I tell you that, Eldritch Dragoon, is because you're going to get a lot of Starcrum. So make sure you spend it wisely on like those blueprints in there. Stuff that can actually make builds with. Don't do the silly stuff that I did and do the gambling thing. I totally had forgotten that the blueprint thing existed there. Big mistake. No. No, Threadnought. Bad. The Enterprise was a ship in the United States military, not specifically the United States Navy. It's not. We're not talking about the Federation, all right? I'm talking about Captain Jean-Luc Picard, USS Enterprise. Oh my goodness. Shoofda. You know, while I'm sitting here, I'm just gonna do some more writing. While I'm sitting here hanging out with you guys and shooting the shit, let's do some more writing. Oh, fucking get the throat demons going again. Oh my god. Blech. Gross. Absolutely gross. BB number 1. Nice. Nice. Have I seen Redline? No, I have not. Let's go gambling. Ah, oh, dang it. Yeah, don't do the gambling thing. Because I had thought that was the only way to get it, and then I saw that the Wish Machine has the blueprint shop, and it was like, once I saw that, I was like, damn it. Because I could have spent a bunch of stuff there instead. Getting the actual build we would want, not the silly shenaniganry, right? I'm also thinking I'm going to rename, I'm trying to think if I want to rename the one country or not. I got it as, the one was too close to Boletaria. So right now it's Belatria. But I don't know, it's just like, Okay. You gotta stop. You gotta stop your lies. Okay? You gotta stop your lies, Threadnut. It's getting out of hand. Getting out of hand. Oh yeah, it would be nice if a bunch more ships got preserved. But unfortunately, it's one of those situations of like, these are valuable resources, right? You kind of want to get them back into service, or you want to do something with them, and preserving them is a bit rough, costs a lot of money. Granted, the U.S. is better about it than any other country on the planet. There's a reason that the U.S. has the number 1 and number 2 navies in the entire world. And it's because we have the biggest navy in the world, and then we have the second biggest navy in the world. And the second biggest navy is our fleet of museum ships. We have a lot of museum ships. But it is still pretty fucking sad that you can't get all of them, right? Very, very sad. Especially certain ones that go, like the USS Barb. That one's depressing. No, but Rapar, in Once Human, you're actually right beside the event that's going on with the new Ancient One, Deviant. Yeah, basically. Yeah, you're like right beside it. There's only one other person on our server who's closer to it, and it was somebody who built on top of that mountain to begin with. Their house is literally right next to the Ancient One, and they're like, what? You're just basically right underneath. Higher than my fucking lawn. Yep. It's funny, I used your house as a teleport to get there faster. And then I showed it on stream. It's a shooting gallery thing. You get on top of the Ancient One and you just start shooting all the balloons, the ballons, and then he goes flying in the air with you on top, and you shoot all the ballons in the air. Yeah, on back of a mutant plane. It's a deviated airplane that's kind of like a whale and a plane mixed together. It's very strange. Fun little event, though, honestly. There probably is. But I was also slowing down because I didn't want to, like, fuck over the other guy. Even though I kind of fucked him over, it seemed like. But I was slowing down to try to get to let him get some points as well. So if I hadn't slowed down, if I hadn't tried to be nice, I would have gotten the 5K easy peasy. Yeah. Get off my lawn. Only instead of fuck, what was that movie called? Because I kept wanting to say Gran Torino, but that's the name of the vehicle. That's not the name of the movie, right? Shit. Gran Torino is the movie. Okay, good. I thought Gran Torino was the name of the other movie. The Breaking Bad one. Yeah. Yeah. El Camino. Okay. Fair enough. Alright, there you go. Rapar's got the other one. Alright. Hoofda. You know, speaking of history, what do we got? Do we have a... Does Fat Electrician have a new video out? Let's see if Fat Electrician's got a new video out. I'm not going to watch his latest one. I'm just going to tell you if he's got one. No, he's got America's Ace of Aces, Richard Bong. which was 12 days ago. Yeah, that one was that one's an incredible story. Sad ending, unfortunately, but really fucking amazing story. In your book, if you get to the point where you want your nation to deal with inflation, I would recommend doing what I did in D&D game. Not only did I have travel and other taxes like in a D&D, but I also had what I call the dragon tax. Even good dragons are greedy. So to pay them for protection and to remove excess gold from the economy, created by adventurers getting old gold, there is a dragon tax. Adventurers and the crown pay the most of it. Yeah, we already have that. I already have that system in the book. They're not gonna find a bunch of like dungeons and things like that. This is not like video gamey in this sense. There's another one that is video gamey, and then that deals with the concepts or what are known as money sinks to help keep the economy from exploding. And it's a concept you have to deal with in video games if you want to keep a stabilized economy that doesn't like rapidly balloon because of inflation. You need to have things that are money sinks. They're just infinite black holes of money. Things like gear repair or like buying new mounts, going and getting like necessity items, things like that. Stuff so you can try to drain the player base of its gold, because otherwise you'll just have people that'll sit there and just farm gold forever, right? You need to have a way to minimize that gold. And I know it sucks as for the player, because the player will initially be like, I don't want to repair my gear. That's lame. That's stupid. I hate repairing gear. Oh, just waste my time and everything like that. But I think they would much rather prefer that over the I literally can't afford anything in the auction house because now all the auction house prices have been inflated beyond fucking oblivion because there's no money sinks in the game, so everybody has a shit ton of cash. So if you're starting out, or if you're a low level player, or somebody who doesn't gold farm all the time, you're just fucked. You're not playing the economy game. And so now you have an entire feature that's completely walled off from you. But yeah, in this, that isn't so much a problem because there's not just a bunch of random dungeons and things going around. Remember, in stuff like Faerun, in the Forgotten Realms setting, you have... I almost said Tamriel. Thank God I didn't. But you have Mystra, who like helps repopulate dungeons with old bits of magical items and lore and stuff like that, because Mistra's trying to get more magic in the world. So, yeah, it's just one of those, like, you don't have that in this setting. There isn't somebody that's going around repopulating the dungeons and things like that. Yeah, because what she does is, Mystra will have her chosen go in and they'll place, like, magic wands and tomes and grimoires and scrolls of magic all over the place in dungeons. That's their job. And then they'll let the dungeon naturally, like, recoup around that stuff so that adventurers will go out and find it. That's the in-universe explanation for why a dungeon that's been raided so many times can still have magic items in it. Because the Chosen of Mystra are literally putting stuff back into the dungeons. Yeah, and in this setting, they already have taxes and stuff like that for this purpose. Like, Meraxis already has a tax system that's put in place, and again, it is specifically to keep inflation down. But he also makes sure he doesn't put new currency into circulation. He also makes sure that none of his people accept foreign currency. So, like, you can't accept the value of the foreign currency at all for any sort of trades or anything like that within Dracor. Only officially made Dracoran currency is allowed. But he also has the taxes to also keep a sink, which allows him to also do government projects, so crown-funded projects, like putting all the bathhouses in every single village, right? Which again seems frivolous, but again, he had multiple reasons for doing that. And one of the many reasons was the fact that it would promote a more health consciousness, not just because people want to be, people want to be clean and healthy. Anyways, there's never been a time in history where people actively want to be dirty. The human race as a whole wants to be clean, and that extends to all the other races. They don't like walking around with mud and feces and stuff like that all over them. No, they want to be clean. But they probably don't know like the most the highest efficacy way to be clean, right? Meraxis is more knowledgeable on it because he understands the concept of germs and bacteria and viruses and things like that. So he just set it up to where they would now be cleaner as a social group, right? The bathhouses become like a social gathering hub. Excuse me. Yes, it's highly illegal to use. If you are caught with foreign currency, you're in a lot of trouble. And most of the people in the kingdom don't want to use it anyways. The exception to this rule is Lagerol. Because Lagerol needs to actually get its currency destroyed, because when they take half of Lagerol... Oh. Damn it. I just spoiled that. Fuck. I meant to say the exception would be if any kingdom gets taken over by Drakor. Obviously, the people of that kingdom aren't going to have Drakoran currency, so they need to go to the exchanges to get it replaced with Drakoran currency, which is also lets him slowly increase the amount of currency at a very steady rate based on the population of people, instead of like just flooding a market with it. Remember, that's how he's going to destroy the slaver kingdom, is he's sending them shit tons of gold. Tons and tons of gold through their slave trade, which is then going to imbalance their economy. Spoilers not a problem when you have double think. Thank God none of us do, though. Excuse me. Yep, that's his entire purpose. He wants to flood them with unmarked gold discs. Now, they're valuable in and of themselves for being gold outright, right? And he explains, too, that this other kingdom can save itself if they will offload the massive influx of gold, if they just take that and they offload it to another kingdom. They could save themselves. They could save their economy. However, he's banking on the fact that the kingdom instead will actually really will really enjoy the added wealth at first. And then by the time they realize it's bad, well, other countries will also realize it's bad, and they won't start accepting their gold in trade anyways. So they'll just be flooded with this currency, which will have been depreciated in value because of the sheer amount of gold coins being put into their economy, which also destroys the value of the copper coins and the silver coins as well. Oh my god. Yeah. Think Forgotten Realms is a well-built setting? I do. I really do. Again, highly recommend watching Ed Greenwood's stuff. He has a YouTube channel as well. Highly recommend it. It's very interesting how much detail he's gone into. Yeah, so that's the other thing too, is I don't want it to just be like Meraxis is always right. Like, I've already had it where he's made a couple mistakes. Because I don't find it interesting when somebody is always right. He has a lot more advanced knowledge than someone might expect, but a lot of that is explained by the fact that he tarded. He tarded! He started taking it seriously. Anyways, he started taking Lost Frontier seriously. And so then he started looking into, like, well, how did this function back then? How would this function? How would this... And he slowly started building up Starlight into being a functioning kingdom like that. Which is how Starlight survived. Remember, Starlight in Lost Frontiers was not the most powerful kingdom. It didn't have the best PvP players. It wasn't the best raiding kingdom or anything like that. What it was the most stable kingdom. It was the most self-sufficient kingdom. By the way, kingdoms in Lost Frontiers, guilds. Guilds, kingdoms, same things in Lost Frontiers. For obvious reasons, because turns out it was a test. But yeah, so like I said before, most guilds, what they would do in Lost Frontiers is they would build the Hallway of Doom, right? You just had a hallway with all your most needed services, and your respawn would be there, so on and so forth. So it was just a quick, easy, convenient. But Miraxis started like taking things seriously, like, well, where would the blacksmith be most efficient at for his day-to-day job? What would the example I gave last time, and I'll give it again, was Royal Physician Jadoxis. So he got the NPC, Royal Physician Jadoxis, and this physician, the only thing that they're supposed to do is they're just the res sickness guy, right? When you as a player receive resurrection sickness, you go to an NPC to heal it for you. It's a money sink. This is a built-in money sink for the economy of the game. He started thinking about it logically speaking of like, well, what would, logically speaking, the Royal Physician need? So he started giving him like a route that he could patrol through, right? So he said, well, he'd need access to the Royal Apartment, so we're going to give him the Royal Apartment, because that's where the players are going to respawn and everything. And the players in Starlight were the nobility. So they would live in the Royal Apartments. So he'll be there. I'm going to give him access to the Royal Libraries, because obviously as somebody who's going to be using healing magics and everything like that, and remember, healing magics are more effective the more you understand about the biology in the body that you're using them on. So if you just know basic healing magic, but you don't know anything about the biology, all you can really do is speed up the healing process of the body's natural capabilities. If you do know it, then you can actually start to repair and, like, stitch things together, so to speak, right? Like, if you understand how musculature works, how veins work, and things like that, then you can actually start repairing those things, because you understand what you need to do for those things to work properly. Yeah, excuse me. So he started doing that, and then he's like, well, he'll need free time and things like that, and places to go eat. And this is what kind of started his spiral of looking into each NPC in the kingdom and starting to fudge things, started to mix things around. Then he started building up the palace in Dragon's Reach to actually be like a proper keep with its own rooms and everything, with its own, like, here's the library, here's where the royal knights will be, and so on and so forth, right? Yeah, exactly, Threadnut. That's the basic gist of it. If you don't have any understanding of it, you're basically... Oh, it would be more like heals for 1 damage, right? Because, again, you're basically kicking the natural body's healing into overdrive if you only know how to do healing magics and you don't understand how the biology actually works. That actually gets into an interesting situation they're going to come about, because Resurrection was a thing in Lost Frontiers. Would Resurrection therefore be a thing in this? And yeah, the trials and tribulations they go through with trying to do resurrection magic in this actual setting as opposed to a game setting. And then of course Miraxis gets chewed out for even trying, because You know, obviously he should have recognized it was a fucking game. But, you know, that's part of one of his mistakes that he makes, is trying to do resurrection magic. And mostly it's from not wanting to lose anyone. Because, like, before, when they were just NPCs, he wouldn't have cared as much. Now that they're actual, you know, flesh and blood living beings, and unlike other Dracoran, because he wasn't a Dracoran in his real life, he was only a Dracoran because of Lost Frontiers, and now he's actually a Dracoran now. He has a different perspective on what it means to be powerless or weaker, a weaker race, right? So he can associate more directly with the Dracain, with the Hagen, with the Dwarven, and everything. And that becomes like a major teaching point. That's another part too of. I don't think it's a secret. I don't think that's too much of a spoiler. But when Meraxus ascends to godhood, I also need people to understand. Godhood in my settings are not like, oh, you're a literal god, right? You have a lot of power. You're basically like a higher being. But there are stages. There are steps beyond that. Like, essentially, becoming a god is more like awakening yourself. And then you go up and up and up, right? Nope. It's not immortality. Gods can be killed. Remember, the only two beings in my settings, and all of them, that have immortality are Cordysoth and Severus. They're the only two beings in the entire setting. And again, I'll explain how Cordysoth gains immortality and how much he really hates it. Remember, immortality is his berserk button, basically. If you want to really piss him off incredibly quickly, start talking how immortality is a good thing or like has benefits and things like that. He'll get real mad real fast. Because he's very much of the opinion he would prefer to be able to die. But yeah. So, it's another thing with, like, the gods are much more like, well, Sir Reginald would get this. The gods are much more kind of like in the Nebula's setting, right? In Nebula's civilization. Of course, Severus Drake would be immortal, creator's pet. No, because he's literally the creator, right? He's literally the dragon god of the void. Yeah. Now, it's not the same thing, like, the gods in this setting, they aren't players from other worlds or anything like that. No. But it's like that. They don't have all the information. They can't understand and they can't see all the information. They can be tricked. They can be duped. They don't know what's going on in people's heads at all times. They're not omnipotent or all-powerful. For anyone that doesn't know Nebula Civilization, it's like, it is genuinely like the gods in Faerun, right? Where they're powerful, but they don't have omniscience, they don't have omnipotence. They're just powerful, and they're better at seeing the long view picture and trying to manipulate things. I don't know what you're trying to get at, Threadnought, with this. So, like, literal gods. I don't get it. I don't know what you mean. Oh, a long time ago. Long time ago. Yep. But you can't. You can't have an omnipotent god. It just doesn't work. There's too many logical things that would fuck up for that to be reality. It doesn't work. You can't be all powerful, because then the obvious logical flaw, like, all right, well, create a boulder that you cannot lift. And if there's something you can't lift, you're not omnipotent. And if you can't create something that you can't lift, you're also not omnipotent. Like, again, it just doesn't work. It logically falls apart. But yeah, so it's the same thing here. So Meraxus becomes a god, and then a lot more of the novel is dealing with the like oddities of what happens when you ascend to godhood. Like, what is your area of divinity? What are you focused on? Who are your worshippers? What are your tenets? How do you worship? What is your church like? You know, so he's dealing. A lot more of it's going to be dealing with that, while also dealing with the threat of having to fight all the other gods, right? Well, I say all, but obviously not all of them. The repugnant conclusion, I think? I don't remember what it's called. But yeah, that's the way to think about it, is like, again, you can't have, if you have omniscience, then you can't judge anybody for anything because you already know everything that's going to happen. So it would be a bit fucked and scuffed there because you would know everything. And then if you have omnipotence, you literally can't because there are logical contradictions. You can't actually be omnipotent. It's literally impossible. Well, I do like the Elminster stuff set in Forgotten Realms. Again, when you actually read it, it's genuinely, like, a lot more understandable. And again, we had this discussion before where people don't understand what Gary Stu or Mary Sue is. They just think of a really powerful, strong character is one of those two off the bat. They don't understand what it is. You need a Ray Palpatine situation, not a Elminster situation. Elminster actually struggles. Elminster actually experiences loss and pain and suffering and everything. And there's a ton of people that don't like him. In fact, it's a slim minority that do like him. Most people in the world hate him. He's known as the old meddler for a reason. A lot of people don't like that he meddles in things. They would prefer if he just kept himself to his own business. But he can't. He's a chosen Amistra. He has to meddle. No, I know. That's what I'm saying, Sir Reginald. I'm saying that Elminster isn't a Mary Sue at all. Like, at all. Any of Forgotten Realms considered bad or overrated? Ooh. Bad or overrated? I don't know. I'd have to get back to you on that one, honestly. I really would. I'd have to think on it. I genuinely have to think about it. Yeah, it has a cycle it goes through, Alpar. It'll be back, though. But at least you know the way to get up there now. No, it's a pretty long shooting section. Say 10 minutes or so. So, if you want to wait around, you can. But that's up to you. Let's see. Yeah, so it all basically comes down to, like, what is your religion? How are you going to set it up? What's your church going to be like? What are the tenets of your faith and everything like that, right? These are the things that he needs to figure out how to set up. And he understands bits and pieces of it, so he is his divine domain is of dragons in and of itself, right? He is the Dracoran god, the king of all dragons. And that's what, again, he wants to be, but now he's got to come up with the idea of, like, well, what does that actually mean for a faith? What does it mean for a people? What would they have to believe? What should I instill in them? Yes. But again, Meraxes doesn't know about it. Meraxes doesn't know about Severus. He only knows about Cortisoth. And Cortisoth is not the god of dragons. The Meraxes specifically is the god of dragons. Cortisoth is the god of creation, of blacksmiths and carpenters and craftsmen. Like, that's Cortisoth's domain. Now, granted, he's the dragon god of creation and everything, even though technically that should be Severus, but that's not what Severus is known about. Because Severus, most people don't know Severus exists. Like, the overwhelming majority, it's a small microcosm that do know, and it'd be the readers would know that he exists. Yep. That's another thing too, is this setting specifically is faith creates reality in sort of the divine realms, right? Which is specifically why Cortisoth picked Meraxes to send to this world to begin with. Because if faith can dictate what the divine realm is like, what if he puts in a person that is already well regarded and worshipped in and of themselves? And on top of that, being the first Dragon King in history in this setting, that already gives them a huge leg up and a lot more of a following. So it then slowly will start dictating how everything works. But you also got to remember in and of itself. I mean, this is stuff that gets revealed early, right? No, the tabletop setting specifically in Saqqara. This is tangentially related to Saqqara, though. But the tabletop setting will be Saqqara, the second age of Saqqara, but it'll be Saqqara. The novel in and of itself will be is the first age of Saqqara all the way through, and then the tabletop takes place in the second age. The books that I'm doing that are independent of that but tangentially related are their own settings, their own universe, and everything. But they still play by the similar rules to an extent, right? So this first one, His Majesty the Dragon, they has a certain subset of rules. One of those rule sets that Severus put into place was that faith dictates what the divine realm is like. That's not every one of the universes. For example, that is not how Saqqara works. You don't ascend through the belief in faith and everything. There are different ways to ascend. There are some settings that don't allow ascension at all, as well. There are settings that don't have magic at all. But if it does have magic, it follows the same principles that we already discussed on a previous stream. In another setting, like the one that's going to involve the trains, I'm trying to come up with a decent name for it. But it's the premise of that setting is that there's been a magic apocalypse, right? And the whole world is covered in this never-ending magical storm that's just raging forever. There are small bastions and pockets within the storm that have established cities, and you need mages and things like that to cast powerful anti-magics and things like that to keep the storm at bay from coming into these cities. Well, these cities in and of themselves can't support themselves alone. Like, with the populations that they have, they kind of need to work together. The only way to get to those other cities, though, is through the trains. So you have the conductors of those trains who are kind of like considered lords or noblemen, right? The train only functions when it has its conductor. So these conductors then push the trains through the storm. So think of it kind of like Snowpiercer, right? Only a lot more dangerous. Like the world itself is the danger, not the train in and of itself. And these trains go to each of the cities over and over and over again. They just make circuits. There's also like the Corps of Engineers. Some of them work on the trains themselves. Others of them have to go out in like special convoys to try to build new tracks, to send new paths and everything. No, not Snowpiercer. A shoe doesn't go on your head. No, I'm just saying that as a generalized thing, because in that setting, the train that you'll follow in that book is known as BBD number 1. So the Big Black Dragon number 1, and it is a massive monster of a train. It's a train whose engine is so big that it actually has a hinging point on the engine. So the boiler system and everything like that is on BBD number 1, the thing that helps it generate power, is actually on a pivot on multiple parts. That way it will allow it to go around corners. Because otherwise this train engine is just too fucking big. It's way too big. Suggest a name much? I mean, it is what it's going to have to be. It was the most descriptive name that fit perfectly, right? But yeah, BBD number 1. And it is shaped like, in vague facsimile of a dragon. So, it needs to have hinging points so that it can actually take corners at all. But this train, whereas other trains in this thing will pull like 100, maybe 125 cars, BBD number 1 can actually pull a massive 300 cars. Alright? It is a monster of a train. So it also has a monster of a train garrison on it. So when you're on the trains, it's not like, oh, you just have to worry about dangers in front of you and things like, no. You have actual, like, every 25 cars, there is a military car, right? And every 10 of the cars, there is, like, anti-aircraft guns and things like that on the roof, and, like, defensive fortifications and things like that to be used in case of emergency, which means all the fucking time when you're going through the magic storm. Because there are some things where it's like, well, we need the mages on board to deal with this, and there are other things where it's like, shit, we've got shadow constructs that are charging the train, turn on the fucking lights all over the train, and also get all the anti-aircraft and anti-tank guns and everything like that up and running, because we're going to need them. You could have mist wyverns that attack the train. These are like native species that have been corrupted because of the magic storms, and there's all kinds of horrific magics going on in the storms too. Part of what the conductor's job is to stand at the front of the train and actually see what's coming up on the track so they know what to deal with. In some settings, yes. It depends on the setting in and of itself. Right? This setting, it does exist. Because this setting was a world where, through forced integration, because of the way the world worked, you had technology and magic, like, working and elevating separate from each other. They're competing with each other, basically, to which one was more useful, right? And for a lot of people, because this is a setting where magic is a gene and not something that everybody can learn, some of the settings, everybody can learn magic. This is one of those settings where it's a hard rule that your genetics make up if you can actually learn magic or not. Or if you can actually use magic. You actually need the magic gene within you to use it. So what are all the regular people going to do? Like, sure, the mages can all go around on, like, golems and things like that, and, like, mobile wagons and stuff, but what is everybody else going to do? So everybody else is going to create other stuff to make their lives easier, in facsimile to what the magic is doing, right? This is a world where that happened. And then the war in heaven started, and then the great magic storm started across the entire world, and now it's been raging forever since. So, in this, the trains and everything like that are like they're much more like war trains than what your traditional trains are, and people still got to ride these trains as well. So as part of it, you have to be inducted into not inducted, more like instructed. You're inducted into the train guard. Like, you actually have to train and go. It's like a noble house, essentially, right? You actually have to train and be inducted into the guard, and this is a position of honor, but it's also a lot of danger, right? The only thing that's a more dangerous job is to be a guard for the engineer corps. Because the engineer corps actually has to go out into the storms, and they don't get to just drive the train through all the magic storms nonsense. They actually have to stay out there and keep going through and placing down new tracks and things like that, and trying to build new pathways to go. No, you don't train on the train. You train in the cities in and of themselves. So there's a dedicated guild for training train guard, right? And the train guard, when they lose people, because they're losing people all the time, not because it's like they're not trying to keep everyone safe, but it's just that difficult. Unfortunately, it's that dangerous of a job. So they will go and they will actually try to like recruit from these training corps. And a lot of training corps specifically want to try to get their recruits on BBD number 1. And the reason why they want that is because it's the most famous of the trains, right? It's the biggest train there is, and it's the one that carries the most cars and has the biggest train guard there is. It's the most famous of all the trains. There's only 15 trains running in the entire world. Only 15. So everybody's kind of desperate and dependent on all of these remaining trains functional. There used to be more, but an engineer then killed off the conductor on one of these trains thinking he knew how to run the train, and then the train just didn't work anymore. And that engineer had quite a long and excruciating end of his existence, because obviously you've now taken one of the great trains out of the circuit and now made everything way more stressful for everyone involved. Does magic races exist who dislike people without the magic gene? No. Because it's more a world of like the opposite, where a lot of people don't like people with the magic gene because of the great magic storm that's kind of destroyed the world, right? So there is one city that everybody kind of wants to get to as well, and it's known as the Green Place. That's just the colloquial term for it. But it's a city that had a lot of magic users, so they were able to kind of also extend the borders of safety out way beyond the city, because they had so many magic users to begin with. So now you have fertile farmlands and things like that that are all set up out there. That's why it's known as the Green Place. Now, that doesn't mean all the other cities have nothing. They have hydroponics and things like that. But it's a lot different to actually have proper farming and things like that. So that's where the Green Place actually trades in quite a lot, is farmed goods and equipment and things like that. So seeds very vital in this. A lot of cities need as many seeds as they can possibly get, and they want the more productive seeds from the Green Place so they can use in their hydroponics to try to keep their own populations alive. But then what has happened is they've kind of like hyper specialized each city over necessity, right? Because they need to find that one trade good they can get to make them valuable to all the other cities. Because what happens if you're not valuable to any of the other cities? What if none of the trains ever come to see your city again? You slowly die of, like, what's it called? Malnutrition. Good lord, brain. Couldn't remember malnutrition. Slowly die of malnutrition. You might have lots of food, but you might not be getting enough of specific foods that you need. So a lot of that comes into play as well. So a lot of these cities have kind of re-specialized themselves. Like, this city is the city of like weapons manufacturing and guns and things like that. This city is the city that trains mages and everything. This city is the one that does pharmaceuticals and drugs and things like that for like medical purposes. And again, it just becomes of necessity. You hyper specialize into an area to become dominant in that area and thus become vital to everybody, all the rest of the cities, right? Like you become hyper specialized, which is a bad thing normally. In this case, you're doing it for survival purposes. But yeah, the trains are like kind of like mobile fortresses. But even in that, there are people, normal passengers, that need to ride the trains, right? And these normal passengers need to be instructed that they have to follow the conductor's orders at all times. It doesn't matter what the conductor says to do. Like, this isn't like you get a say or you get to keep your dignity. No, if the conductor tells you you're going to shove your thumb up your ass, you're going to shove your thumb up your ass. Now, that's just an example. Obviously, that never actually happens. But to give an example of a very dangerous magical anomaly that can crop up on the trains, it's known as the fuse. So, the fuse, what makes it so dangerous is that it was originally a healing magic that would allow you to bind mechanical or like inorganic material to organic material, which was used for like prosthetics, limb replacements, everything like that. Things that you would need to have functional there. Or like if somebody needed to have their heart replaced, you could give them a mechanical heart and use the fuse rune to make it a literal part of their being. Unfortunately, what that means is you have these massive areas in the magic storm that are casting fuse the entire time. What happens if you have clothes on and you go through a fuse storm? The trains in and of themselves have been made inert to these runes, but that also gets into a whole thing of production, right? Because it would be one thing, it'd be nice if they could do it, but essentially they're trying to like use up a lot of magic energy to create these anti-magic trains that can actually survive going through these fucking storms. And again, you never know what's going to be on the tracks because it's a storm. The storm is always raging and blowing and changing what's going to be in the area, right? So when you have a fuse rune that gets called out by the conductor, everybody has to strip down. You have to strip down everything, right? So you can't have any clothing or anything like that on you. You need to stand apart from each other just in case. You don't technically have to, but like just stay distance from each other because we just want to make sure that nothing happens. That you're not suddenly going to have your clothes are going to be fused into your body, and then we're going to have to give you surgery and like literally rip your new weirdly colored skin off of you so that your body can actually breathe. Like, yeah, you don't want shit like that to happen. And that goes through all kinds of different ones. Like there's the Razor rune, or the Razor storm, which originally was used as a deterrent against burglars and stuff, right? You would cast Razor magics to be like, hey, while I'm sleeping or whatever, I'm protecting my property line. You have to go through the Razor magics and it do cuts on you. It wouldn't like chop off limbs, but it was a deterrent, right? So, if you go through a Razor storm, it's going to cut you up. So if the conductor calls Razor, you have to shut your eyes, put your hands over it, and then curl up and just brace yourself, because you're going to get cut. It's just going to happen. You're going to get slices across you. But you specifically want to cover your eyes because you don't want your eyeballs to be the thing that gets cut. Much prefer to have the little slices be on your hands and arms and legs and stuff like that. So, again, these trains are not enjoyable to go on. That's why being a train guard is considered such a high honor, because you're choosing to do something that's incredibly fucking dangerous. And that gets into all the magic things, like the shadow constructs. Again, it was a security feature. Originally, shadow constructs were used as a method of security for homes and things like that at night. So these are creatures that can only live in darkness. Hence why the train actually has a lot of wiring and needs a lot of power. If they start realizing that there are shadow creatures that are coming towards the train actually has to slow down and use some of its energy from moving the train. They have to send it to power all of the lights. And so then you get the big, like, floodlights going out everywhere. You get the kind of I Am Legend sort of thing, right? Where they're trying to stop all of the shadow constructs from getting near the train. But then there are some shadow constructs that have been mutated because of the magic storm that can actually come out of the shadows, and those actually need to be, like, shot up and actually fought. But the vast majority of them, you can just deal with them by getting rid of the shadows around the train. Basically make it so fucking bright that the shadows can't get anywhere near it. Let's see, what are some other ones? Like I said, the mutated creatures like mist wyverns and things like that. So those are like monstrous pseudo-dragons that try to attack the trains. Those actually need to be fought off with the anti-aircraft guns and everything. Maybe with the anti-tank guns if they get low enough, but why mist wyverns always try to sweep the tops of the train? Hey, if they get low enough, you can shoot them with an anti-tank gun. Otherwise, you're going to let the AA guns do their work. Yeah, so that's essentially what the train thing is, and a lot of that book is dealing with like how the society functions the way it does, and like each one of these cities has basically turned into like a pseudo hive city, right? Just as the population increases, more and more people are having to live down in the under parts of the city and aren't up in like the fresh sky, so they don't get to see like the sunlight and everything. It's much more like a world of darkness for them, where everything is kind of like the what's the name of the city? What was the name of that walled city? It was a Chinese enclave. I think it was a Chinese enclave. And it was something like the walled city. No, where is it? Oh, there it is. There it is. Here we go. Alright. This is what it was like. I will move over to it to show it in a moment. Because we want to get multiple little, like, things of it. And I'll show you, like, city streets and everything. What the I have no idea why it's at 100%. Okay. I have no idea why that was at like 400% resolution. Good lord. Oh, damn it. I actually closed it. I meant to keep going. I want to find another really good picture for it. That's a pretty good image for it. Okay, so this is the Kowloon walled city. This is kind of how it went. Notice how everywhere else is like more open and airy and stuff like that, and then you just have this, like this tumor that's just been just crunched here in this one spot. Now this is a city of pure lawlessness. There was no law and order here. There was nothing in here. It was total anarchy. Might makes right sort of thing. Families you lived with multiple other families. You had roads and streets and things like that would just like crisscross and snake through all the different buildings. Like this was a normal street inside the city. Because it was so densely packed, no natural sunlight could get here. So you had this. This is what a normal city street looked like in Kowloon. Right? Just absolutely like a monster. Weirdly enough, though, after this place was dismantled and destroyed and they forced all the residents to go everywhere, people reminisce fondly about being in the walled city, about being here. And then here, as you can see, like, look how they just build things. They would just stack more and more and more on top of each other. And again, you would have, like, holes that would randomly go everywhere. It was like a maze that you would go through. And all the tenants that used to live there, all the people that lived within the city would talk about how, like, it was like a really memorable place. They look upon it fondly of memories there, even though it was a horrible place to live. I mean, I just think that's fucking neat. And it's the same sort of style I'm going for with the normal cities. Even the green place has this problem, right? Because they can't sacrifice any of the farmland. Only farmers are allowed to live out in the farmlands, right? So everybody else has to live scrunched up inside the city itself. And as the population increases, it just builds up like this, like a tumor. It just builds up and up and up. And again, like I said, because there's no law and order or anything, look at all these like wires. There's just wires and metal scrap and everything hanging everywhere. Everywhere. Yeah, so that's a similar vibe I'm going for when it comes to what the cities will be like in the second book. They're just like this monstrous, horrific abomination that like lives together with the most well-off being at the very top, kind of like the Spire side, basically. If you're familiar with 40K, the most well-off live Spire side, the most like wretched live in the Underhive. Oh yeah, no, it's generally great. Like I said though, all of the residents that live there have fond memories of it, which is I can't remember what there was a term that was for that, where everybody felt like really kind of a communal, like there was a special thing they were living through in history that nobody else was. All kinds. It's going to be all kinds of different scrap and things like that are used to build up these things as best they can. There are some cities, unlike the green place, that like the forest, the place of trees and things like that, where they had a little bit more of the countryside that they could go out on, but the place of trees is also very dangerous because the trees are also absorbing a lot of the magic in the air as well. So some of the trees turn into stuff like weepers or mimic trees and things like that. So very dangerous place, but that's where you would get like wood products and things from. There's one city that actually was near enough to mining operations that they forced their mages to actually clear out a path to the quarries so that they could continue to get iron and metals and things like that from it. But obviously that's not going to last forever. But so they're kind of desperate to try to find more and more places. But yeah, the forest place, it has people that are dedicated to replanting new trees and everything all over the place, all over like everywhere. And if you cut down too many trees, like, you get executed really fucking fast. For most of the cities, though, it's whatever scrap and stuff they can, like, put together. That's why you'll have, like, multiple families that'll live in one, like, housing unit, air quotes. So, like, everybody will be shoved into this one small room. You might have 3 families in, like, one area, and everybody's got to find some place to sleep, or something like that. Like, somebody might sleep in the one bathtub that everybody gets to use. Someone, maybe there's a sewing machine, and you disassemble the sewing machine to use as a bed at night. Stuff like that. But that's basically what it is. It's you do what you have to do. In that setting, too, I'm continuing the theme from the first book. We're talking about the second book I'm writing, Lord Zan. I'm keeping the theme from the first book in the second book, which is that people hate dragons in the second book as well. But for this reason is because they think the dragons started the war in heaven, and thus have caused the magic storm. But, and again, this isn't much of a spoiler. This is revealed, like, pretty fucking fast. If it was an anime, it'd be revealed in the first episode, right? All of the conductors are dragons. All of them. They're trying their hardest, but they have to remain hidden. Like, so they wear big trench coats and gas masks, things like that. They're basically covered at all times when they're not aboard the train, and the train is outside of the city limits. Because they don't want to cause a moral panic in the population. The people that are aboard the train guard and everything like that, know who they are, and they're actually been inducted through magic rite to never reveal their secrets or anything, lest have horrific things happen to them. But, like I said before, remember, none of the trains only operate when they have their conductor. When the conductor's not around, the train doesn't operate anymore. And the world is desperate for these trains to keep running. So that's why there's kind of this tension between the people that are actually well off and the conductors, because they don't like how mysterious the conductors are, and they don't like that they have to treat them like lords, because, they're kind of like outsiders, so to speak. They don't really have a home in any of these cities. They always have to, like, they'll go to these places and rest for a couple days, but then the train has to keep moving to get to the next destination. It's got to keep moving, got to keep putting more stuff, get more stuff loaded, get it set to the next city, and just keep going, just keep going. They don't actually have a real home in any of these cities. It's hard to come home from war after you had to execute a family of 4 just to eat them for survival. Haven't done it yet, but oh god, yeah. Yeah, that essentially is how it works. Like I said, that's not something that's gonna stay a secret forever. That's kind of like the first, like, mystery reveal of, like, who the conductors actually are, and why they're so powerful and so strong, why they can actually resist the magic storms and everything. It's also why they're at the front of the train, because they can recognize what the magics are that they're going to be dealing with. Because it wouldn't matter if you could somehow, like, hypothetically, if you could somehow get the train actually running without one of the conductors. Do you know how to recognize all the different magical ailments that are going to be out on the tracks? Because remember, it's a storm. It's not like, this is always the permanent, like, acid pools or things like that. No. It's a storm that's constantly shifting things around everywhere. One of the early experiments in the book will actually be to create anti-magic cars. And what that is, and I'm using it as train cars, not like actual, like, automobiles or anything like that. But anti-magic train cars that then they can have their passengers and things like that go into, so that way if they do need to hide, they can have, like, an emergency shelter to get inside of. These actually end up, like, being incredibly dangerous to do and create. Yep, you now know who Mary is. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Oh, and that's the thing. Mary isn't once human. She is your, she's your Mayfly contact. Right? As you go through the story, though, you'll learn more about Mary, including getting her backstory. Yeah, sometimes, and again, they'll discuss this in the in the book, but it gets discussed. Like sometimes, some of the conductors will just take their train and leave, and no one knows where they go. They're just one day. It's just sometimes a conductor, because there were a lot more trains. Now there's only 15 left in the world. There were a lot more trains before. But there just gets a moment where a conductor, for whatever reason, will just take the engine out and will just leave. And they have no idea where those trains or those conductors go. They have no clue what's going on or where they're at anymore. More hot train action than Atlas Shrugged and better written too? Oh, good lord. Kree's done New Vegas streams before, but now I believe he's restarted another one for it. So, yeah, he's doing it with Pagan. Pagan is streaming beside him for New Vegas streams. I should actually finish a house playthrough on New Vegas. I've never actually finished house playthrough. It's always funny. I don't even know why I never finished a house playthrough. It's weird. I think the one that finished the most was the NCR playthroughs. Again, technically the Sheep's Path, but I always liked like trying to fuck around within the Sheep's Path, try to figure out like other things you could do in the NCR thing to like shift things and change up the way it works. That's the one I've definitely finished the most. I can't remember if I finished a Legion playthrough either. Yeah. The only mod I would ever use for New Vegas is realistic weapons damage. That way, if you get shot in the head or if you shoot an enemy in the head, they're kind of like fucked. That's just me. I might actually try and do a completely unmodded playthrough of New Vegas at some point. Maybe we'll do that on the stream at some point. Yeah, exactly. I agree, Ropar. Yeah, speaking of, and again, I should have mentioned this earlier, but I'll mention it now. We're nearing the end of the stream for today. We will be watching 5 movies tomorrow. Remember, there's no stream tomorrow. We're watching 5 movies instead. We're going to start with Puss in Boots' The Last Wish. We're then going to go into D&D Honor Among Thieves, then into Dragonheart Vengeance, then into The Gentleman, then in Godzilla -1. Right? Yeah, it's just it's going to be just a fun day of watching good movies. That's the only thing I have that connects them tangentially, is that they're all good movies. All of them. And again, all of them, like, for shocking reasons. Who would have expected Puss in Boots to be good, right? An offshoot character in a spin-off movie verse of his own, and he actually ends up, and it's the second one, and it's 11 years after the first movie, and it's actually really fucking good. Like, that's incredible. Then you've got Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, a modern day with Wizards of the Coast being the fucking incompetent, racist piece of shit that they are, and we got an actually really, really good Dungeons & Dragons movie. That's a fucking miracle. Dragonheart Vengeance, the 5th film in the Dragonheart series that I only thought had 2 films originally. And the second film was not good. But no, it turns out that the 5th film in the series is actually really fucking good. That was a shocker. The Gentleman, a modern British film that's actually really fucking good. Like, what the fuck? Granted, it was from Guy Ritchie, and Guy Ritchie does a lot of good films, but man, I thought he might not be immune from modern day, or the modern audience concept, but he was, thank God. And then Godzilla Minus One, a film made for less than $10 million that blows Hollywood out of the water. It's a Godzilla film. A Godzilla film made for less than $10 million? Woo! Okay. And it actually is one of the best Godzilla films ever made. We need another spin-off movie with Big Jack Horner as the main character, but he's dead. Not gonna be. He ain't coming back. He ain't gonna be in The Last Wish 2. That's another movie series we should watch at some point. The Rush Hour series. Yeah. I can't remember how many Rush Hour movies there are, though. I remember the first 2 Rush Hour movies were pretty good. I can't remember Rush Hour 3, like, at all. Which does not bode well. Maybe it's just because I ran out of memory bandwidth, but I don't remember Rush Hour 3. Yes, that's the joke I always reference, Abysmal. In the bloopers at the end of Rush Hour 2, Chris Rock was like, damn, he ain't gonna be Rush Hour 3? Yeah, I know Rush Hour 3 exists. I know it exists, and I know I've seen it before, but I can't remember a bloody thing about it. Not at all. And I don't know if it's just a memory bandwidth issue, or if it was genuinely not good, so I've kind of written it off in my mind. No idea. Maybe. I'm not really big into racing stuff. I'll probably give it a try at some point. We'll see. Literally, This man is the worst ending. You seize power from Mr. House for its own sake. Odds are you're the new petty tyrant of New Vegas, not the bleeding heart saving Freeside from poverty. Yeah, exactly. I think Mr. House is by far the best ending of it. He makes the most logical sense. But I don't think but again, I've never done the ending. I just know the ending. I should genuinely, like, force myself to do the, to do a House ending. As I said, we'll see. Again, Death Race, stuff like that also doesn't really interest me that much, shockingly. It just does not, just does not interest me in the slightest. Oh, God. That's a pretty steep fucking discount. 450. 450 for the game Shattered. I can't remember, like, it looks cool, but I don't know if I want to get it for 450 or not. Death Race, the game, the movie, the remake movie. No, I just use Death Race as a colloquial term for all those kind of like battle racer things. Japan 2's on sale. That's pretty good. No, Mario Kart's different. That's kind of like kid-friendly battler, you know what I mean? When I think of Death Race, I think of like machine guns and missiles and landmines and, you know, stuff like that. Like you're going Twisted Metal, but it's actually a race. Ooh. And dessert for just $10. That's pretty nice too. No, that would just be dangerous. Again, Death Race, Death Races, like I said again, are like missiles and explosions and like mines and bombs and stuff like that, where you're actively trying to kill the other racers too. Like, and I don't just mean in ramming them off the road or causing accidents or stuff like that. No, I mean like actually like you have guns, munitions. You have the arsenal of a small fucking country, and you're trying to like devastate each other with it. Yep. Oh, goodness sakes. Yeah, maybe we should do some Jimmy John's, but I kind of want to save some money. We're gonna have to spend some money to get Space Marine 2, so that'll be an upcoming stream, as we will be doing Space Marine 2. So that will be a thing. Chardonnay horsey sauce? Arby's, what are you doing? That just sounds yuck. Blech. Just absolutely bleh. Not a fan of that. That sounds gross. Okay. Yep. That's the one thing about it. Again, if you prove yourself to House, he's more willing to listen to you. So, if you are a good aligned second in command of House, he's going to listen to what you have to say. Which is genuinely interesting. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, France is suing Elon. Of fucking course they are. Ever played L.A. Noire? Yeah, a long time ago. I didn't like. L.A. Noire is one of those games. Very interesting concept. I just don't like the implementation of a lot of their mechanics in it. Well, the implementation of mechanics frustrates me because there'll be stuff that'll have connections and relations to it, and you can just get fucked over in a speak if you don't make the exact connection that the game wants, which annoys the shit out of me. I genuinely do like those kind of murder mystery games. And I call it a murder mystery game, but you're not obviously dealing with murders all the time. You're also dealing with a bunch of other stuff too. But, I like games that are like that. But a lot of games like that have problems, which, ironically, the Sherlock Holmes series solved. And, they would also go on to make Sinking City. Sinking City was pretty good. Rough as all hell, but it was a pretty good game. And it had the same sort of like detective system that I really liked in Sherlock Holmes, where you can draw connections as much as you want. That doesn't mean they're accurate or useful, right? You just get bits of like floating information, and then it's on you, the player, to draw the connections to the other bits of information. Like, hey, here's a receipt that for this particular diner at this particular time. And then you'll just have that there and then have other information. It's kind of what Shadows of a Doubt does. Well, Shadows of a Doubt keeps it even more disconnected, where like you can literally put anything on the board you want. But Sherlock Holmes has it where like you now have this receipt from this restaurant at this time. It's like, okay. And does it have his signature on it? It does have his signature on it. So then you can make the logical connection that this person was at that restaurant at this time. Yeah. Oh yeah, you find human parts in shipping bins. They sell organs versus they're cannibals. Yeah, basically. Worst thing about France, it's filled with the French. Well, not anymore. They're not. Oh. Do you think House would be able to keep things running and advancing after his eventual death? He's still alive, though. After hundreds and hundreds of years after the bombs fell, I think he's will be fine with House. Borderlands disaster makes Gearbox CEO meltdown. Ah, get fucked. Get fucked. I've never been a fan of Randy Pitchford. So I love the fact that the fucking Borderlands movie is a total fucking disaster. Tasty. Kevin Hart annoys you to no end. Randy Pitchford bitching about something, that's a good thing. Yeah, it usually is. Air fryer hacks, tips, and tricks tested. I might actually watch that later. Might actually watch that here after the stream. Uwe Boll is back and acting like hot shit. You guys missed my movies with Borderlands failure. Nice. His movies were shit, but again, there's a reason nobody asks you to make movies anymore, Uwe Boll, because the German tax loophole you were taking advantage of no longer exists. Said, you not let the air fryer consume you. It has not. I consume the things that come out of the air fryer. I eat the food, the air fryer food. And I'll argue this, shitty as Borderlands is, I think it was made with more sincerity than Bull's video game movies. A poorly made product versus scams to exploit tax loopholes. I don't know. I can't agree because the Postal movie exists. I can't agree because the Postal movie exists. I just can't. I can't agree with that. I see the Borderlands movie as being worse because it's not even trying. Right? Nope, I'm keeping my air fryer. I can't believe they ruined Borderlands by making it inaccurate to the source material. That's the joke. I think Borderlands might be the most accurate video game adaptation of all time, because I also find the games to be boring, terrible, and unfunny. And annoying. Yeah, man, the Postal movie was a blast, because it's so, like, it's not Postal, but it's just Postal adjacent enough to be a really good video game adaptation. What? No, yeah, House particularly, he specifically calls the NCR customers. He's getting rid of the NCR that are in his backyard. He's not getting rid of the NCR. He wants the NCR to stay around as customers, not as people who have a direct controlling stake in anything with New Vegas. Right? He tolerates the NCR having soldiers in New Vegas because the Legion is around. Once he has the Securitron army, he doesn't need the NCR soldiers there anymore, and the NCR can be kept at arm's length. And that arm's length would be through a shaking of hands. He wants them as customers, not as a police force. Now remember, the Fallout show is the best adaptation. Anyway, eating a pistol now, yeah. Only fucking idiots think that's true. I mean, you have to be pretty fucking dumb to think the Fallout TV show has anything to do with Fallout to begin with. After all, it contradicts and fucking destroys its own continuity itself, even without the Fallout stuff. Once you add all the Fallout stuff in, you just realize how bad it is. Oh god. That sounds delightful, Threadnought. Just misinformed and retarded. Yeah, that's true. That's true, I suppose. Oh, people think Alien Romulus is a good Alien movie? Interesting. Maybe we'll watch that at some point. Who knows? Yeah, but as we've already established that, like, Brother New Year's mentally ill, so, you know. Not surprising. I had no faith going into it, but the moment Lucy said okie dokie as her reaction to walking out into the wasteland for the first time, I tapped. Yep. Yep. Absolute fucking disaster. Oh, I did see, this again is completely unrelated to stuff we're talking about, but I just reminded myself, because on my YouTube feed there was something that was showing like Age of Musketry sort of like uniforms and weaponry and everything. In Roblox, there's another zombie game, but it's like a zombie objective game with survival elements, and it's set during the Age of Muskets. So bright colored uniforms and everything like that, going through a zombie apocalypse. It is actually interesting, confusing as fuck, though, but genuinely interesting. And it has like class mechanics and everything. Like you can actually be the field musician. Very weird, but yeah. Yep, climb up its left wing. Climb up its left wing, and then you can jump to one of the jump pads. Its left wing is touching the ground. That's how I got up there. Yeah. Yep, it's intentional. From everything I've seen. Anyways, yeah, the game is what is it? Blood and Powder. So you actually have like flintlock musketry and everything like that, fighting it. You have various different regiments and things like that through history are going against it. Let me find it. Guts and Black Powder is what it's called. That's close. Blood and Powder was pretty close. Guts and Black Powder is what it's actually called. But it is pretty interesting. I actually played the Fifer. So I was just giving everybody buffs the whole time. And you have to play music based on a metronome. But you also have to be very worried because the zombies will still try to target you as well. And so you might have to drop your fife and pull out your fucking sword and give them what for. I wouldn't want them to build bases in the area either. Like, no, again, I want them at arm's length. I don't want them in my backyard. Fight with the bayonet. Done. Yeah, it was genuinely interesting. Genuinely interesting. Not a lot of people play the musicians for obvious reasons. It does kind of feel like all I'm doing is giving everybody else a buff, and so I'm relying on everybody else. And then if I have to fight, I'm incredibly fucking weak. I don't care how bad the Borderlands movie is, it will never be as bad as Final Fantasy Spirits Within. Good God, that was a disaster of a movie for sure. Woo. Yeah. I can agree with that. Because it's such a spin-off and doesn't have anything to do, like, if it wasn't called Final Fantasy and it was literally just called Spirits Within, it would be the same fucking thing, right? The only thing associating it with anything Final Fantasy is the fact that Final Fantasy is in the name. Oh, but you didn't like Final Hallway with Lightning, the best character ever that everybody loves, the best character, Lightning? You didn't like the one hallway Final Fantasy with Lightning? Oh, God. The entire movie isn't just 40 hours of running down a corridor. Yeah. Yeah. That's long enough for the Stockholm Syndrome to set in. Yep. Lightning, officially Final Fantasy's first female protagonist if you ignore all the others. Yeah. That's also a lot of, like, oh my god, hang on, let me find it. There was a design where, a artist for, it was Tetsuya Nomura's, he created a design for Batman. And it is one of the least Batman, edgiest, like, edgelord looking pieces of shit I have ever fucking seen. Alright, chat, we're gonna look at this shit. If you hadn't seen this before, I apologize. Actually, this one looks like it's been cleaned up some. Hold on. Looks like somebody fixed it a little when they turn it into the wallpaper. Alright, here we go. Okay. Here we go. So this is what he came up with. It's not fucking Batman. Like, Jesus Christ. This is my big problem with a lot of Japanese designers, is they don't know when to stop. Right? They don't know when to stop designing things. Subtlety is a beautiful thing. Yeah, that's supposed to be Batman as envisioned by Tetsuya Nomura. It's awful. It's genuinely awful. And I just can't stand a lot of Japanese designers that they don't know when enough is enough. They just keep going. Like, subtlety is a beautiful thing. Where are all his belts and zips? Oh yeah, that's the other trope with a lot of Final Fantasy designs, or a lot of Japanese designs, is a lot of belts and zippers just randomly all over the place. It does look like a JRPG boss, again, because this is specifically supposed to be Final Fantasy inspired. Yeah, Nomura, for whatever reason, loves belts and zippers. Just fucking gratuitous belts and zippers all over the place. Even Yahtzee made fun of the fact that a lot of Final Fantasy designs are just belts and zippers everywhere. They enjoy the subtlety of a ninja with a rocket launcher. Yeah, it just looks so awful to me. So awful to me. Batman looks like he's about to say, Joker, I like you. Don't go to Gotham today. Yeah, I know. Holy shit. Subtlety of a ninja with a rocket launcher? Isn't that just Mortal Kombat? At least they're not like actually having to use their capabilities and functions as a ninja, right? They're actually there to fight. So, you know, kind of hard to be like, no, I'm just a spectator, bruh. It's like, you're in the fucking arena. What do you mean? You're in the fucking arena. Just shut up. Shut up and put up your dukes. Okay. Alright, well, I'm going to end it a little early today. Because my stomach's doing the grumble rumbles and we only got 3 minutes left. So, my stomach wants me to go to the bathroom. But remember, chat, tomorrow, 5 Film Friday. We're not doing a stream. We're doing 5 movies. Make sure, if you want to watch the movies, if you want to watch all of them, you can. But that will be taking place in my Discord, alright? I have the times already set. I'm going to do one more at everyone announcement today to let everybody to know and to put up the times again. So there's going to be one more at everyone, and then tomorrow it's going to be only theater attendee announcements from then on, right? I don't want to spam at everyone's at people. So I'm going to have the at everyone again here today to let people know what's coming tomorrow. So if people want to set up a sleep schedule or stuff, if they want to prepare themselves, if they want to watch all the movies, or if they want to watch a particular movie, totally fine. Doesn't matter. I'll be there for all of them, obviously. But if somebody only wants to watch one of the movies, totally understandable. Show up to any movie that you particularly want to watch. Here, you know what? I will do then at everyone post. I will do it right now while we're talking on it. Everyone, as a reminder, tomorrow there is no stream. We will be doing 5 Film Friday. These are the times below. Oh shit. Edit message. Whoop. Okay. There we go. Sent it again. Alright, there we go. So everybody is up and aware on it and knows what time it is. Movies chat. Hopefully you guys take care. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe and healthy. Get fit, get ripped. I will see you on Monday. If I don't see you at 5 Film Friday, and if I don't see you at Saturday Showtime. Remember, Saturday Showtime will be Tremor 6. So hopefully I'll see you guys there for that. Till next time, guys. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Says pay attention during the bell scene? What? You mean the thing I pointed out before? Yeah. No, I pointed that out before. Anyways, bye-bye.